Now, the other point, I'll touch on this briefly because you wanted to talk on the point. Knowledge. And that's what the university is for, knowledge. We come here for knowledge, right? Yes. Because we're all born ignorant. And I wanted to explain that from the Bhagavad Gita, or from the Vedic perspective, knowledge must be received from higher authority. Even the most ordinary knowledge, like if I say, how many people in this room know who is their mother and father? Everyone will say, yes, I know. And if I say, how do you know? You were not present when conception took place. You have accepted it on the authority of someone, either your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. But to know anything, even in the most ordinary affairs, we accept some authority. In modern day, we accept radio, TV, newspaper, my girlfriend, whatever. So many, computer, internet, Facebook. So this is very important because when we want to know the most important item, we have to find the highest authority. And what is the most important thing to know? Anybody want to take a shot at that? The most important thing to know in life.
You need an authority to know that?
Excuse me?
Don't I need an authority to know that?
Yes, that also. That's why I'm here. Yes, that is the most important thing, just like all of your students, and you came for knowledge. I want to know. It's basic things I want to know so that I can. But the Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic authorities, they respond, but who is that I? Who is that wants to know? Is it something up here we call the brain or the mind? Is it the heart? Is it this flesh and bones, which is just interacting and producing some dynamics of growth and curiosity, intelligence, speech? And they answer, the answer they give, Bhagavad Gita gives the answer. There are three things. Kshetra, Kshetrajna, and Prakriti. So the Kshetra means the field. Like a farmer has a field, he produces some potatoes and tomatoes and melons. He's not the field. The field is where he works. He applies himself, produces something. And oftentimes, that field, although he's working on it, producing, it doesn't belong to him. He occupies it, he rents it. Or like a person who has an apartment. He says, it's my apartment. But it doesn't belong to him, it belongs to the landlord. The landlord is the owner, and the tenant is the occupier. And who is the occupier? This body. Body comes out of the womb of the mother. Everywhere, all over the world, we see the same phenomenon. Male and female are combined in sexual intercourse, and in due course of time, there's pregnancy and expanding after 9 months. A fully formed child appears. Temperature 98.6 everywhere. In Alaska, in Africa, Sahara. Everywhere we see the same heart beating. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. No one can live. First thing the doctor wants to see if the child is breathing. Sometimes they used to slap them. I don't know what they do now. And slap, give a jolt. But then that inhaling and exhaling goes on perpetually. While sleeping, while eating, while jumping, laughing, crying. It cannot stop. always going on. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Generally, we think we live by eating burgers and fries and pizza, but actually we live by inhaling and exhaling. For 3 minutes you don't inhale, exhale, it's all over. So this is the field. We, when Bhagavad Gita says we, it means the living force. The living force is activating all these delicate mechanisms from day one, before day one, as soon as conception takes place. Some people say soul, some people say living entity, some people say Atma. But we know for sure one thing. There's a difference between a dead body and a living body. There's a difference. Beautiful, in our day, Marilyn Monroe, it's very beautiful. As soon as that living force is absent, nobody wants to be in the same room with that beautiful woman or man. Nobody. That means the beauty, the beautiful element, the dynamic element, the element of attraction or the element of value has been lost. And so the Vedic culture aims at understanding what that element is. Not by speculating, well, maybe this, maybe that, maybe some chemicals. Many science-oriented people say, there's some chemicals. If I say, here's some chemicals, put the chemicals, make that dead man come back. No, it can't be done. So, the whole Vedic culture aims at focusing the attention of everyone. It's not just for philosophers. Farmer, engineer, doctor, military men, everybody should focus their intelligence and their effort to distinguish this dynamic living force from the inner covering, which we call the body, or the field, the kshetra. The value of this building is because there are students here, they're all living. If the place was completely vacant, it would be useless, right? Has no value, except maybe some squatters that come. But actually, it is valuable because there is valuable effort, dynamic focus of living beings here, trying to assimilate knowledge. So, although this is such a fundamental and simple point, the Vedicans say this is where knowledge begins. When a human being can distinguish the difference between inert matter, like this table, and living force that moves the table. Or another analogy is that an automobile is a very sophisticated instrument. But unless the driver pushes the button, it will not move an inch in hundreds of years. So the valuable element is the driver, the operator. So the operator of this organic, machine. In fact, Sanskrit word they use, yantra. Yantra means machine. It's not a mechanical or electronic machine, it's an organic machine. And the force for activating and keeping it sits in the heart. That's why when the heart attack, oh, you had a heart attack. What does that mean, you had a heart attack? Who attacked it? What happened? No, the living force has separated from the machine. And so the heart stops pumping. Heart stops pumping, everything collapses. So this is one point.